Would you believe it if I told you that there are some very, very weird things showing up in the meta? Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. We have to start off over here with Aquarium Stage. And before you're like, Aqua Actress? No. Aquarium Stage does things. I have not read this card until today, or at least remembered I've read it. So water monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle with a non-water monster. Okay. Aqua Actress monsters you control are unaffected by your opponent's monster effects. Okay, sure. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard and we target one Aqua monster in your graveyard, special summon it, you can special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except for Aqua monsters. Hold up here. Hold up here for a second. Did that say water monsters? Okay, so who's a good water monster? Barrier statue? Okay, barrier statue, sure. But what about Kyroshin? What about that walking, talking dummy floodgate monster out here that basically had this, huge body that the opponent would only be able to have one non-water monster on the field at a time. So you're telling me there's a spell card that can protect it. You have Umi up and running. Suddenly, this is turning into like a madness of like extra combo lines down here. Yeah. This actually showed up recently, and I was like pretty entertained by the idea that we could play a water deck with Aquatic Stage to protect your water monsters so that they can actually floodgate lock your opponent with Kyroshin. Now, the biggest thing I want to point out here is, before you're like, sounds terrible. It does sound terrible. But this is the right level of Yu-Gi-Oh! That your opponent will not be prepared for, that you can win the game. That's why this is called Weird Tech Choices. Next up is not so weird, but Earth, Water, not Fire. No. You put that away. All right? I would say Wind, but no. And Dark. The barrier statues that could be Water, showing up in the water decks. Dark in your Chimera versions. Yeah, you guys know what you're doing with that Fiend thing out there. Wait, did I say Fire? No, nobody plays Fire. Earth is starting to show up in the very weird Vernal Sith Madolche deck out here that people still want to continue to play, or like normal summon in the Thurion good stuff, but like normal summon Snake Eyes Ash doesn't out that, nor does a normal summon Poplar. If they have the field spell up on the field, though, no, your barrier statue's gonzo. Alright, so barrier statues have been seeing some very interesting play as of late, and it's actually been kind of cool to see these monsters. I know, like the Wind Barrier statue left a bad taste in everybody's mouth. I don't care at this point. The thing I care about here is we have methods to play the game through Fire, and the barrier statues help you with that. Yes, infinite impermanence does exist. I have been impermed on a barrier statue many a times. I feel the pain. I understand. It happens. Alright, Yu-Gi-Oh! But for the most part, where we're sitting right now, these barrier statues are probably going to be something that a lot of players are going to look to as lifelines to at least try to play whatever rogue strategy that they want. Sorry, Wind. Unfortunately, your barrier statue got yeeted because Flaunderies abused it in collateral damage. It's not like Flunder's not running around out here with a free option to be able to play the game. Ugh. Speaking of said free option, Featherstorm is our next little... I can't even consider this like a weird option. Except for the Sword Soul player out here that was playing it with Cyber/Harpy Lady to actually hard draw the Featherstorm to be able to roll it out and punish the opponent. Yeah, that happened, by the way. You might not believe this or not, but when you make a generic Harpy Synchro monster that is a Wind, then suddenly you can splash Featherstorms into your deck. And the only downside, I guess it's an upside that you can play the Featherstorm. It's a downside you have to draw the Featherstorm, but you can just Pot of Prosperity into that, right? Like, that's the thing that we love, is the filtering options the Pot of Prosperity gives us. I love consistency upgrades, don't you guys? Should have put that stupid card to 1. Believe it or not, Pot of Prosperity is broken in this format. The filtering options are insane. But you didn't hear that from me, all right? People love consistency options. From where we're sitting right now, Featherstorm is kind of insane. Flunder needs to clutch this card really hard right now to be able to actually play through the, I'm going to say it, some of the stupid boards or some of the stupid things that can get out of control out here. And I know we hate floodgates. I know, these sorts of effects, make the game very unfun, but these are the only things that can play through these decks that try to make these insanely crazy boards. I mean, the super toxicity is what it is, I feel like. So, yay, Flunder. I don't know what more you want me to tell you. Flunder is still going to continue to be one of these decks that people are going to look at in the meta, and they're going to go, wow, how did this get this far? How did this get here? I don't understand. Well, it got here because it seems like it's got options. Okay. Next up is Yubel. Wait a minute. You're not lying right now, right? Like, Yubel. That's so. Here's the thing about this, and Yubel fits into the same category as Minkanko. If you have zero idea how to interact with Yubel, suddenly the meta has to kind of cope with the fact that if you run into a Yubel deck and there's a Yubel on your field, you got a couple options. You can start blowing up every single Yubel around the corner and start watching these things kind of turn into these next forms. That's an idea. I mean, just that was some of the logical plays that people had about Unchained back in the day. Just blow through all their resources. Like, I don't have to worry about dealing with the relevant cards if you go through them all. I mean, with Yang Zing's back in the day, just hard play around the Yubel. But right now, I mean, you can bounce the Yubel off of the field. I mean, it's not like Unicorn doesn't exist. Gold Sarcophagus or King Sarcophagus is a really good card. Being able to spot removal, punt things off of the field. Thank you, King Sarcophagus. I love you. But that's neither here nor there. That has nothing to do with Yubel. I find it very interesting that card just handles so many problems right now. But Yubel, I'm putting it in the same class as Minkanko, whether or not you agree or you disagree. The battle phase reflection damage is very good. A built-in frickin' super poly to nuke an entire field into the loving champ best friend defender 9000 is incredibly strong. And I don't think a lot of people have kind of come to realize that just yet. So, everybody, let's just take a moment here. Yubel might not be the strongest meta-relevant deck in the room, but it's there. And then I want to talk about combo choke points. I'm going to mention Valor here. So, specifically, this is a story from my friend actually playing Fire Kings. He's playing the mirror match. And it's very important to understand where to choke point out a deck. But on the same equation, there will be some hands that you can open up. Like this duelist he played against, I actually opened up triple Effect Valor. For those of you that don't know, Effect Valor is not a once per turn. Alright, Valor is from the era of, holy crap, insanely good hand traps. But basically what ends up happening here is you can kind of gas through these option trees that your opponent can have, and sometimes, yes, you can use, Fire King Kieran to dodge a Valor. Thank you, Valor, chain, Kieran in hand. Oh, you lost your target, But knowing the appropriate points to choke out these decks can get you a lot better places, and especially with your choice of hand traps this format. Maybe you're trying to bait your opponent in on something and holding the shifter. I've seen that. All right, and that's why, if you're playing anti-meta and also knowing the combo lines of your opponent's deck can win you games. Knowledge is power, and if you think that you only need to know how to play your deck and not know, hey, my opponent's doing this. Wrong! You're just going to suffer. That's all there is to it. I see this a lot in this game, and it's very entertaining to me that people have zero clue where choke points are. Well, that's all I got for today. You guys have a good rest of your day, and remember, if there's a barrier statue on the field, uh-oh. Yep, I'm in danger.
Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.